All right. There we go. That's super odd. I don't know if you guys were able to see me like that. I was just streaming like 2 seconds ago and you couldn't see me. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know nothing. I know nothing. All right. Good morning. So as I was saying before, which I don't know if you guys heard, but we got a lot of earnings plays today. I thought we were pretty much out of earnings seasons, which we are, but we do have a couple interesting ones to pay attention to today. So we're going to be having to take a look at that. There's nothing much more to it. The market's up today. Can't complain about that. So things are going smooth this week. We'll just wait a couple minutes here, and then we'll see. And then as a couple more people kind of roll in, we'll get rocking and rolling. Like I said, we got quite a bit to cover, so. ENPH. Yeah, ENPH is a good mover right now. You're late to the buy by a long time. So really, you're just be taking a high risk buy at this point if you try to trade it. So, I myself, the only thing I would do is just trade it intraday, So, yeah, you can still trade it intraday. It doesn't trade extremely heavy volume. It actually does trade pretty good volume. What am I saying? But yeah, it trades pretty good volume. Again, you've missed the buy by a long time, so I could see it moving up. It still has room to move. Your real next defined resistance is at 27. I myself wouldn't be buying it here. The buy was down at like 21 or 20, like 2050, 21. So I myself wouldn't be buying ENPH at this point for like a trade, but that's just me. Good morning, Mr. Custom. Good morning. KOD up 150% for the week. So we have a price target on KOD for like 100 and pretty much anywhere from 84 to 100. So we'll be watching that one. I didn't think it was going to make the move that it made yesterday. I thought it was going to pretty much stay below the previous day's high. So I thought it was going to stay around 55 yesterday. And then today we'd see the move from like 55 to 70. But it happened yesterday, and I wasn't trading when it happened, and I wasn't paying attention to it. Story of my life. Anyways, we'll be looking at KOD for a move up to like 90 area. All right, so we got enough people here. We'll get rock and roll and start. So we'll start with home. I'm just going to kind of go down this list here. It's quite a few, so we'll start with home. So home, again, earnings report, stock went from 8 down to 4, 5. We're going to be following this one short bias initially on the day. The 52-week low is here at 457. So if it can get below the 52-week low with strength, maybe I'll take a short. It is easy to borrow. Again, it's already dropped so much. Will it continue to move lower? That's really the main question. So the only way I'm going to get short on home is if we are dropping below this 457 or 460, which is the previous 52-week low on the stock. If it won't break 459 and just kind of keeps holding above it, then maybe it turns into a long play. You can look for a bounce, but first going to be watching this one, just short bias on the day. Fairly cheap. It's basically a penny stock, and it's easy to borrow, so you can short it. Something to keep an eye on. All right, next one we can take a look at is ESTC. Again, earnings play goes from 80 down to 65, trailing off. Doesn't have a ton of volume right now pre-market, still working pretty well, trailing to the downside. Probably going to follow this short bias initially. We're below this support here. On a 4-hour chart, if you look left, there is no support, so we got to go to a daily chart, which means that the support would be all the way down kind of into, really like the 65 to 60 level is where you'd find support. Right now the price is sitting at 65, just steadily grinding down. So I think we'll see ESTC fall into a pretty decent short today out of the gates. We'll see, but that's a play we're going to follow. All right. There's ESTC. What else do we have? We have Restoration Hardware. Restoration Hardware is into a 52-week high here at 212 off of earnings. So this could very well trend and push into new all-time highs pretty well. I don't trade Restoration Hardware unless it's on their earnings report day. So, and that's because there's usually more volume and more volatility on their earnings report day, and they can move like 10, 12, but I mean, they can move quite a bit. So I think it's worth keeping an eye on Restoration Hardware for a long over its pre-market high and 52-week high or all-time high of 212. Okay. Trying to remember all the other ones off the top of my head. There was more today. Wasn't going to trade Dollar General. Guess we could take a look at COD real quick, so I'll run you guys through COD. So anyways, just don't even worry about all those lines in here and things like that. But there's a lot to discuss on COD, but I mean, pretty much straightforward. The price targets are all the way here at 99, 90, and 84. 84 would be your first one. Second would be 90. Final would be 99. If it got through 99, that would be really impressive. But, yeah, those are the price targets. So will it do it today? That's the question, is whether or not it's actually going to break up today because, again, it's running into resistance here at 74.5. So far, it's fading off the 74 mark. So, again, it is treating this top as resistance. This is the first attempt. So I think we can do it either today or next couple days. So we'll be watching KOD for a move towards like $100 pretty much. Okay. Oh, yeah, Slack. That was another one we're watching. MIK says virtual market open. Thoughts on EXP? Thoughts on, Sage is another one from today. Thoughts on A recently bounced from support. If it recently bounced from support, Mr. Khan, then you're usually going to be too late already. You need to be the support on the stock. You don't want to wait for the support. And not always does that make sense to do, but yeah, I'd actually probably be long bias on that. This is a situation where you're actually not too late because, the only reason I even consider being long on this setup is because of the divergence play. It has nothing to actually do with the support. It has to do with divergence, where you're getting a new low here on the stock that's bouncing, or did, and the RSI says otherwise, right? Like we move into a new low, momentum still trending up with a higher low. So there is a bullish divergence, and that's the only thing that I could consider kind of making me want to long in this setup right now. All right. Now let's go over to work, which is Slack. They had an earnings report. We want to be long bias on it. So far this morning, pre-market, it's kind of just jumping around all awkward. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward here tired. I did not get good sleep last night. For me, the only reason I would want to be, the only place I want to be long Slack, or work would be, let me rephrase that. The breakout play or the big momentumous push would come in on work around 23 or just over the pre-market high, which was set in this morning. We're not talking the after hours high. So I like work if it can get up and through 23. You can see over the past, let's call it last week, resistance. So we know that this 23 is resistance, and we even did a pre-market. So if we can get through that, we can have a nice push through. All right. There's a couple other things people are watching today, which one would be Sage. I'll be keeping an eye on this, but I feel that Sage is not going to really, I just don't think it's going to give us a good trading day. We'll see. I'm going to watch it. If it does give us a great trading day, fantastic. But there's been so many situations where I've been in where a stock gaps down 100 points. And yeah, by the way, this is down $100. It went from 150 all the way down to 50 this morning on a failed phase 3 primary endpoint study of a drug that does something to help someone. Can't keep up with it. They happen all the time. So anyways, they pretty much just failed one. Oh, I think it was a depression drug. I think it was a drug for depression. Yeah, it says phase 3 of depression drug failed to meet primary endpoint, shares plunge. Okay, so I've been here in plenty of situations where stocks drop 100 points and then their trading day is just absolute garbage, not fun. So I think that's what's going to happen, and I think everyone's going to get all excited about this to be some crazy day, but probably ain't going to do anything. So But I'll keep it on watch just in case it does do some crazy shit. I want to be involved. All right, there's Sage, and then there's also AUPH this morning, which is up on news of, again, some probably biomedical drug that does something for someone somewhere and it helps them. Let's see. Or maybe not. Where is the news? Here we go. Yeah, I mean, there really is actually no news. So it's a good example. Oh, so there's a price target lift. I mean, unless there's news on the internet somewhere, I don't see. I mean, this is pretty much just all bullshit. Okay, here we go. So there is a little bit of news that the company is on track for a word that I can't pronounce in something for that I don't know of. So anyways, it's up. But again, if you look at it, we jumped to 25, got crushed, kind of been fading out. So there are a lot of people watching this. Am I going to trade it? Probably not. I mean, if it starts to have a really good day, starts to pick up, creates good formation, then I probably will. But it's not going to be my main watch going out of the gates. I mean, I'd much rather watch something like Work, Restoration Hardware, Home, I mean, KOD. I mean, I just think that there's plenty other better things to look at out of the gates today than AUPH. Sage. So anyways, that's my kind of outlook on AUPH. Also, I want to take a look at something else real quick. Okay, so LK pretty much just got annihilated yesterday. Okay. I see. That's a scary drop. It's a scary drop. Okay. Alrighty, let me kind of look at some of your guys' questions here. Slack, AUPH, ENDP, check a bay for a trend line bounce, Boeing. No, style of trading is really just the exact, well, I mean, yeah, a little bit you could say it's changed because of free commission, and it doesn't change in the sense that I change how I trade. It just changes in the sense it makes it easier for me to do my job better, right? I mean, free commission is like the whole, all holy of holy, right? I mean, like, because you go from having to, because here's a problem. Before, it's like if I want to take a 4,000 share position, and I still paid a pretty cheap commission. I paid like $3 or something. But it's like if I want to take a 4,000 share position and I wanted to buy in by the thousands, I'd have to make 4 purchases. 4 times 3 is 12, right? And then if I wanted to sell out by the thousands, 4 times 3 is, that's $25 for that one trade on the day. And then I could go do that another time and another time. And then you're at $150 you're paying every single day to trade, which is just, it sucks, right? So, yeah, when it goes to free commission, it makes you a better trader. I mean, you should be better. I think everybody should be better with free commission because you don't have to worry about paying the commission to get in. So there's no reason why you can't just take a little bit here, nibble at something. Oh shit, didn't go my favor. Okay, take a little bit more. Average down. I mean, if the position is so small, and that's what I mean is you can limp in. You can just limp in. That's all I'm getting at is you can limp in and you can limp out, right? It's like, yeah, it's awesome. It's like having a backup party, right? It's kind of like when one of your friends calls and you're like, yeah, I really want to do this tonight, but my other friend's calling me to do this tonight. I'm basically just going to hang both of them out, and whichever seems to be cooler, last minute I'll go to that one. It's a really dick thing to do, and you shouldn't do that. If you do that, you're a dick. Sorry. But, so you shouldn't do that. But it's kind of like limping in. You're like, well, I don't really know if this is going to be amazing right now, but I can at least take a little bit at it. And if it turns out to be shit, then I can just take off the trade, free commission, and lose pretty much very little money because I just limped in. Or I can just put a little bit in if it goes wrong, but it starts to come back, then I can add a little bit more. So you're keeping your options open to either just get out with a very small loss or to add more shares as things become better for you. And because everybody knows that normally when you end, I would say for most people, as soon as you get into a trade, it normally doesn't, not normally, but many cases it doesn't go your favor right away, right? Like how many times have you guys taken a trade, you think it's going to go one way or the other way, and you get in, and it goes against you pretty much immediately, or it goes up, then it goes down, and then kind of hangs out, it goes down, and then it goes up, right? So a lot of times you're correct on your trade, your timing's just off. So if you know that a lot of times you buy into something and it doesn't normally work out right away, then you should probably tell yourself to just be more patient and wait a little bit longer before jumping in on trades, or you could just limp in. You think it's going to work, and if it does, great, let me get a little piece of it. But normally, you might be off by a few seconds, couple minutes, and then it allows you to watch the chart for more or present a better pattern or formation or read it a little bit longer, and then you can add more shares, right? So it's really nice. I like it. Yeah, so like for example, on AUPH, yeah, I mean, that's just it. I get most of my news right off of Thinkorswim. So when it's not just right there smack dab on Thinkorswim. And that's another thing too is a lot of times well, I don't even want to go that far, but normally when news is kind of floating around the internet and the news isn't coming from someone like Benzinga, or it's not coming through Thinkorswim, I see it as less credible, so I usually don't pay attention to it as much. Just something to keep your heads up about. Yeah, Mr. Craig, you can put out your 3 main plays. That's completely fine. So yeah. All right, AMD, I wouldn't be long on AMD till it gets over like 40.24. Yeah, if you played options before Sage, you'd make a shit ton of money if you're playing puts, but the likelihood of that happening is so it's again, it's the same thing as playing the lottery when you say that. So, I mean, yeah, it would have been crazy. Just like if I would have won the lottery, shit would have been crazy. Twitter. So I closed out my swing trade on Twitter not too long ago, basically the other day for a loss on a 2-day market correction. So in your short term, pretty much you'd want to be long on Twitter over 30.32, and then you'd look for it to get over 30.56 and then go retest the top here, drop of 31. So pretty straightforward. I mean, it actually kind of does look like a little bit of a long to me today, but the range on it's so small I wouldn't trade it myself for day trading anyways. Steve, yeah, so you could look to short KOD off the top of 75. That's pretty much about it, which means you're already late to that play anyways, unless it comes back and retests like 74.50 or 74. You could be short on KOD off that level because it is a first attempt off of its previous big day's high from like 3 days ago. So you could try to get short on KOD off of like 74, playing sort of like a double top formation. But I have a price target of $90. So I think that ultimately it's going up. But yeah, there might be like a quick short down move off a 74, 75. I don't even know what it's doing anymore. I haven't looked at it for a few minutes. So let's see. Yeah, I still probably wouldn't be short on that personally. And let's also check the RSI. That's another thing to pay attention to. But yeah, I mean, what do you expect? It's just blown out. Yeah. Excuse me. Another thing I was looking at was like a bearish divergence, which I mean, like arguably there is one, but it's not even. It's so illegitimate to call that a divergence, because I mean you have such a strong explosive move here, creates a big RSI jumps, and then it just grinds up all day to this top. So of course the momentum should be a little bit lower, but I mean, again, look at the move. I mean, this move is so ridiculously explosive, so overbought on that particular day. Of course, the RSI is going to be high. So anyways, regardless of what I'm saying, I don't personally feel it's a short. That's all. Oh, another one to keep an eye on is EXPR. I mean, there's so many goddamn stocks to look at. It doesn't even matter at this point. But I mean, EXPR, I mean, this is I mean, it's a cheap stock. It's $4.70. They had earnings. Nobody's paying attention to this. It has no volume. And a lot of times, these are going to be the stocks that actually have really nice jumps out of the gate. So I'd keep an eye on EXPR. It's also shortable. So even if it kind of pushes up and then, does a typical thing where a penny stock comes right back down, you can short it also. So this is a cheap stock and it's shortable. Not what your typical day trader on Thinkorswim, beginner trader, any trader gets to do is short something that's cheap usually. So I think that's another good one to pay attention to. The daily charts, it's okay. It's not like set up. Well, actually, I was looking at it like differently earlier. That doesn't look as bad. So yeah, this is actually pretty decent because anyways, I was looking at it earlier. It didn't look the same. I thought it looked shittier. Now it looks actually kind of better. But again, it's just been kind of trailing up. Earnings breakout over top. I mean, if you look at the daily chart, I mean, it doesn't really, it has resistance at about 5. If it can get over 5, and, it can maybe get up to like 550, but you shouldn't expect like $2, $3, $4 off of EXPR. I mean, the thing's $4. Its average true range is probably like 30 cents. So anyways, yeah, I would expect, maybe a decent move there. EXPR, something to keep an eye on. Jarrett Herder, we do have a live trading chat room. You'd be able to get there by going to the description of this video. There's a link, takes you to our website, homepage, premium day trading chat room. BNGO, I'm not going to trade BNGO. It's not that it won't perform well. I'm just going to avoid it. I already see all these other things that I'd much rather play than BNGO today. So yeah, we pretty much set a price target of $1.50 today. I don't know if it broke through it. So it made it to $1.35. I'm not crazy about it. That was pretty much the move I thought it would make. It's still worth watching. But again, my first initial price target would be $1.50 and nothing higher at this point. Pretty much like the move it had here. You see that move where it jumped to $1.50. Like that's at most what I would expect here. And this time it did it all pre-market and then just crashed, right? So we've already had so far this morning our pump up and we might just crash. Again, it's to me, it's not a good stock. This stock's pretty shitty. Doesn't mean it can't have a good day, but I'm not going to trade it. Right now you're pretty far away from the pre-market high. So if you were trading this right now and you're getting long right now, you're pretty much just hoping that it bounces like back up to here and then, performs like a pennant and then you can get a breakout. So there's so much that would even have to happen after this big down pull to even have me consider it as a play. Yeah, there's a lot of trading that this thing has to go through before it can even get back to making me even consider trading it. It averages. We have a total of like 10,000 people in our chat room altogether, from paid memberships to free memberships. And then like activity wise, like live, it jumps from like 150 to 170 people every single day that are actually on and actively working, trading throughout the day. You never get everybody all at once because everybody has, their own life and things to do and might still work. So everybody can't come at all every single day. So, yep. Oh, BPMX, that's a solid no. Solid no, probably. Let's take a look. Yeah. I mean, again, not that the stock won't go up. It's actually kind of looks somewhat decent. Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. If you're going to be doing anything with this, it'd have to be over first 40 cents, and then after that, it'd have to be getting over like 42 cents. So, yeah, I mean, it's got like a decent kind of curling move so far, but again, I won't trade it. It's too cheap. It's a sub-penny stock. I don't trade anything this cheap. But yeah, I wouldn't do anything with it until it's getting over pretty much 42 for me, if I were again to trade it. Nope, never tried Forex trading. Nope. CYCL, is that? I haven't heard of that ticker, so I'm assuming it's going to probably be yeah, I don't know. I've never seen it. For right now, I wouldn't really want to be long. With the way the candles are moving, it actually probably, let's see, what's the buying look like here? Pretty shitty, pretty shitty, pretty shitty buying, pretty shitty buying, pretty heavy selling. I would say probably you're going to want to be short on that stock. That actually kind of looks like a setup I might actually want to take. Yeah, it's one of those feelings where you should just take like 10,000 shares short and just not look for like 2, 3, 4 weeks. And then you look for 2, 3, 4 weeks and you come back and you're down 20 grand. You're like, fucking idiot. But it does actually look like a really good setup for a bear flag. Yeah, I mean, so this is what I'm looking at here. Look at how bearish this move is going down. And then we could have bounced here. We could have bounced here. We could have went up there. We could have went up here. We could have went there. We could have even went here. And we failed all those times. So what we're starting to see is not what we're starting to, what's always been, right? Let's take a look at the volume. No beat, no beat, no beat, no beat. Still no beat. I think maybe a slight beat. Yeah. Anyways, so like look from like basically, okay, so you have the drop, you have the big buy in volume here. What time is it? 9:01. I got to make this quick. Skip ahead to like here, right? Now look what happens. You go from, look at the selling volume increase, buying volume never quite beats it, increase selling volume. These buyer volumes never beat out this previous big selling volume. New big selling volume, green volume lower, red volume higher, green volume lower, red volume higher, green volume lower, just barely got higher. Then look at these days, red volume higher, green volume low, red volume higher, green volume low, red volume higher. So what you're starting to see is each kind of move, the buying that was very, like look at the move up. This starts to move up and the buying volume's less, right? They tried to move up, buying volume less as the price keeps kind of decreasing a bit. So I'd say that's probably turning into more of a short play than a long. I mean, I could be wrong, but anyways. All right, guys, everybody take care. Have a great day. I got to run, got to get back to our private group. There was one thing I was going to add. So I think also something I'm going to be doing after this stream ends from now on is I'm going to spend some time today pretty much just building and looking at and maybe rearranging and fiddling with some of my trade idea scanner. But I do believe what I'm also going to be doing after I get off here on our stream is I'm going to then run another stream pretty much back to back of trade idea scanners all day for you guys too. So it's going to be another thing that I have going on throughout the day that'll take place after we do our morning breakdown watch list stream. Then I'll run a secondary stream after I end this one that just goes right into pretty much scanners all day long for you guys. So if that's something you like, give me like a yes in the comments. And then also hit thumbs up on the video, you poor bastards. Look at me. I'm over here dying, sweating, working so hard. I need water. I'm parched, and I can't even get a thumbs up. Just kidding. So yeah, I will probably run a couple high days, a couple pre-market. And again, the end of the day, the more scanners you have, the harder it is to watch everything. So don't want to make it too busy. Maybe I'll start with a couple, see how you guys like it. If we need to implement something else, then we'll try and put on something else. But again, like I said, the more you start jamming shit in, the more complicated your trading becomes and can get a little bit harder. Can go to the first link in the description of this video. That'll take you to our website, and then go to the home page. That might the link in the description actually I think takes you to our elites trading. You don't have to do that. Just go to the website, click like the banner, or go to the home page, and then you're looking for premium day trading chat room. All right, guys, everybody take care. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning and maybe another later day for a video. All right, guys, take care. Have a great day.